The roar hits like thunder. Lights slice through the dark. Jimmy Fallon beams beneath the hot glow of the Tonight Show sign. That familiar smile, the one that can melt through any awkward silence. But when Dwayne Johnson steps into frame, the air shifts. The cheers keep rolling, but for a heartbeat, the room hesitates numb, like even the air remembers who just walked in. He moves with that signature calm, shoulders squared like armor, grin controlled, eyes alert. Fallon throws open his arms. "The Rock, everybody!" The audience erupts, a tidal wave of applause. Dwayne nods, waves, says his thanks, but the way he exhales says, "This isn't just another night." They dive into the banter, Fallon's rhythm smooth, the crowd hanging on every beat. "Your mom's good?" Jimmy asks. "She's amazing," Dwayne says, smiling, this time for real. Still plays the ukulele everywhere she goes. Laughter fills the studio like sunlight spilling through blinds. Then talk turns to his daughters, Simone, Tiana, little Jazzy. "My 9-year-old just had her first flag football game," he says, proud but measured. "She's fast. Plays wide out. Got called out for a crackback block. Knocked the other kid down pretty good." The crowd chuckles. "Oh my gosh," Fallon says, eyes wide. Dwayne slips into his daughter's tiny voice. "Daddy, the coach said I shouldn't push anybody down like that." I asked her, "Who told you that?" She points across the field. "The coach on the other team." He pauses. The audience is already laughing. "So I told her, 'Honey, you push them down and you keep them down.'" The crowd explodes. Fallon smacks the desk, the band hits a riff, and for a moment, it's all showtime again, The Rock commanding the stage. Energy flowing like electricity. But when the laughter fades, something subtle lingers. The smile on Dwayne's face doesn't quite reach his eyes. He glances down, hearing something only he can hear, an echo beneath the noise. Silence stretches thin. The hum of the lights, the faint pop of the microphone. "That's what life taught me too," he says, almost under his breath. Fallon's grin flickers, unsure whether to joke or stay quiet. The audience feels the drop in temperature. Not awkward, just real. The moment passes. The laughter returns, but a trace of that stillness hangs in the air, like smoke after fireworks. Dwayne leans back, easy but alert. The charisma remains, but there's weight beneath it. Under the lights, he looks less like a guest promoting a movie, and more like a fighter waiting for the bell. The camera pans across the crowd. Fallon flashes his card smile. The band cues up again. Yet beneath the laughter, one truth hums steady. The man sitting there, one calm, smiling, has built his life on pain, discipline, and the will to stay standing. He doesn't fake it. He doesn't flinch. As the segment fades to commercial, the lights dim to blue. Music softens. His silhouette stays steady, carved from something harder than fame. And as the screen fades toward black, a quiet voice breaks through the hum. Lower. Real. Sometimes even a fighter forgets what he's fighting for. The audience never hears it. Only he does beneath the applause. Venice. Golden light spills through the grand hall, soft and sacred. The air itself seems to know it's witnessing something rare. Dwayne stands in place, his heartbeat louder than the ovation crashing around him. 15.5 minutes, that's how long they stand. 15 minutes of strangers clapping until palms sting and tears blur faces. He looks up at the balcony lights, tiny suns blazing above the sea of people. He can't move. It's not pride freezing him. It's disbelief. The sound hits like a wave, and again and again. But somewhere beneath the roar, a whisper. Do they cheer for me? Or for the man I pretended to be? His throat tightens. Emily Blunt sits beside him, eyes bright in the gold glow. She fumbles for a tissue, tears slipping too fast to catch. On his other side, Benny Safdie leans forward, hands clasped, head bowed. Not in exhaustion and in awe, and beside Dwayne, the real Mark Kerr trembles. Shoulders broad as a doorframe, but shaking like a leaf. Dwayne feels it through the armrest and that quiet earthquake of emotion. Kerr's breathing quickens. A lifetime of chaos, pain, overdoses, shame. All of it suddenly being applauded. Dwayne turns, places a hand on his shoulder. That's real, he whispers. Mark doesn't look up. He just nods. A small, broken motion that says everything. The applause swells again. People rise to their feet, shouting now. Cameras flash, the screen behind them fades to black. His name was Mark Kerr, And for the first time in his career, Dwayne Johnson cries, not as an actor, not as The Rock, but as a man watching another man's redemption. The tears come fast, raw, unstoppable. He wipes them with the back of his hand, but they keep falling. He laughs through them. That laugh that comes when you finally find something you didn't know you'd lost. Emily squeezes his hand. They see it, Dee, she murmurs. They really see it. He wants to believe her. But deep down, a quiet voice still asks, did they see him? Or the mask I wore? The prosthetics, the muscles, the accent, the fight scenes, all built to honor Mark. And yet, beneath the roar of applause, he wonders if he's disappeared behind the man he was trying to save. The applause doesn't fade. It swells. 15 minutes, 30 seconds. Dwayne feels the ache in his palms from clapping back, the sting of salt at the corner of his mouth. He forces himself to breathe, to stop thinking, to just feel. The hall hums like it's alive. He glances at Mark. The fighter's eyes are wet, but awake. In them, Dwayne sees something he hasn't seen in a long time. Peace, and that's when it hits him. Maybe it doesn't matter who they're cheering for. Maybe this messy, shared trembling is what truth looks like. He squeezes Mark's shoulder again, holding it there until the tremor eases. The applause crashes one last time, echoing through marble and night. He closes his eyes and lets the noise wash over him. The pressure, the image, the myth of being unbreakable. When he opens them, Venice is gone. The gold light turns cold, harsh, fluorescent. The roar of the crowd fades into the low buzz of gym lights. His hands, once resting on Mark's shoulder, now curl around a barbell. To find what's real, he murmurs to himself. I had to build it. The camera lingers on his hands, veins raised, knuckles white. The glow of Venice dissolves into the sterile glare of a training room. Music fades. Steel meets concrete. The clapping is gone, but its ghost remains, pulsing beneath every breath. The clang of metal echoes through an empty gym long before sunrise. No cameras, no crowd. Just breath, weight, and pain. Sweat hits the mat in slow drops, steam rising from his skin like smoke from a forge. Dwayne's reflection stares back at him, broader, heavier, but not enough. Not yet, he rolls his shoulders. Veins tense under skin. Every rep grinds against the weight he's built, 30 pounds of muscle layered like armor. Each fiber earned, one repetition at a time. The air smells of iron and chalk. The rhythm of the barbell becomes a metronome for obsession. His face is blank, the mask of a man chasing something more than perfection. Truth. You're going to have to get bigger. Benny Safdie had said once, half joke, half dare, eyes bright with that filmmaker's fever. Dwayne laughed. Bigger than the body? Benny didn't blink. Bigger than The Rock. Now, under the humming lights, those words won't leave him. He spent his life being larger than life. Wrestler, star, icon. But this is different. This isn't about presence. It's about precision. Vulnerability. The courage to strip away everything until only what's real remains. On the counter nearby, Kazuhiro's prosthetics are laid out in rows, 22 pieces, sculpted, painted, perfected until latex looks like living skin. When applied, they transform him. Cheekbones reshaped, jaw redefined, shoulders thickened. Hours of stillness, shallow breaths so the makeup doesn't shift. It's artistry and it's confinement. He can't scratch, can't feel air on his face. He studies his reflection again, half Dwayne, half Mark Kerr, and somewhere between, no one at all. The air conditioner hums steady. Relentless. They call me The Rock, he mutters, voice low, rough as gravel. But sometimes, rocks crack. He pushes harder. Deadlifts until his hands tear, then tapes them and keeps going. Drills with MMA coaches. Rolling, striking, relearning the rhythm of pain. Every punch thrown and taken chips at the myth. He's not training to look like a fighter. He's remembering how to be one. The gym empties. Night creeps through the high windows. The fluorescent lights flicker, turning sweat on his arms into liquid silver. His breath grows louder, sharper, echoing off the walls. Between sets, he sinks to the floor, elbows on his knees, staring down at the mat, exhausted, trembling, unstoppable. It's not vanity that drives him. It's fear Fear that he's lost the part of himself that bled, that failed, that fought for something beyond applause. Benny's voice drifts through memory. Mark Kerr lived on the edge between glory and destruction. You have to find that line and stand on it. Dwayne looks to the ropes in the corner. The same kind fighters use for takedowns. The same kind that once bruised his body when he was still just a kid trying to make it. He walks over, wraps his fingers around them. Forearms tighten. Muscles tremble. He leans forward, forehead against the rope, eyes closed. He doesn't move for a long time. The silence thickens. The hum of the lights fades into the sound of his breathing. Heavy. Deliberate. When he finally looks up, the determination in his eyes has changed. Quieter now. Colder, sharper. He turns toward the bench. A championship belt waits there. A prop, and yet not. He picks it up with both hands, staring at it like it holds an answer. He lowers his head, the camera moves closer. His grip tightens until the leather cracks. His voice is barely a whisper. The training ends. The test begins. The frame tightens on his fists, veins coiled like wire, until the world dissolves into black. When the light returns, the gym is gone. Now it's the Tokyo Dome. 30,000 people. One blinding ring of light. The air hums like static before a storm. Dwayne crouches on all fours, the mat cold beneath his palms. Across from him stands Fujita, solid, breathing through his nose like a bull before the charge. The crowd isn't screaming. Not yet, they're holding their breath. The lights burn white, erasing everything except two men. The fighter, and the one pretending to be him. Benny Safdie's voice cuts through the tension, calm, final. We don't cut. The Japanese fighter shifts his weight, eyes flicking down. I can't hit him, he says. His accent is thick, but the meaning lands like truth. Dwayne lifts his head. Their eyes meet. There's no anger, just certainty. You must, he says quietly. For truth. The words hang in the air like a countdown. Everything slows. The crowd noise fades. The arena shrinks to a single heartbeat. 1, 2. The first punch comes. A shadow slicing through the light. Impact. Too real to be sound design. His head snaps sideways. Spit and sweat explode into the air like mist. The mat trembles beneath him. The second hit lands harder. His jaw tightens. Teeth cut his lip. Blood fills his mouth, hot and metallic. The third follows, a blur of knuckles in motion. He doesn't block. Doesn't flinch. He takes it, all of it, because that's the deal he made with himself. Camera shutters flash. Somewhere, someone gasps. Fuja hesitates, but Dwayne's voice cuts through the pounding in his ears. Keep going, another strike. And suddenly time fractures. He's not in Japan anymore. He's 10 years old, gloves too big, standing in his first gym. Then Venice, the applause, Emily's tears, Mark's trembling shoulders. Then Jazzy, his daughter, laughing as she shoves another kid down on the football field. Push them down and keep them down. The images flicker behind his eyes like lightning. Pain blurs into memory, memory into purpose. Each hit becomes a reminder of why he's here, not for glory, not for fame, but for the truth of being human enough to bleed. The next punch lands. He doesn't feel it right away. The sound is distant, underwater. The world narrows to a tunnel of light and breath. His heartbeat pounds, deep, heavy, unrelenting, thud, thud, thud. Then, silence. The fighter lowers his gloves. Dwayne stays down. Not because he can't rise, but because he knows the scene isn't over until truth finishes speaking. The camera keeps rolling. No one calls cut. Blood trickles from his lip to his chin. Sweat burns the cut above his brow. His lungs seize, then release, a long, ragged breath. The taste of iron, the sting of air. It's all real now. When he finally lifts his head, the crowd erupts. Sound crashes back in, wild, deafening. He blinks through the blur. Body trembling. Eyes unfocused. Outside the ropes, Benny watches. No smile, no applause. Just pride. The quiet kind that comes from watching someone walk through pain and not look away. Later, in the quiet of his trailer, his jaw swelling, Dwayne touches the bruise under his eye and laughs softly. Yeah, he murmurs. That pain was real. A pause. Maybe that's why it healed. He leans back, eyes half closed. The echo of the crowd still trapped in his chest. No score, no dialogue. Just the hum of lights and the rhythm of breath. In, out. 5 seconds of silence. Long enough for everyone watching to realize they've been holding their breath too. The screen lingers on his face, still alive, blood drying. The white light softens, bleeding into gold. The ring fades into something ceremonial, almost holy. Then, an auditorium bathed in amber light. A trophy gleams. A crowd rises to its feet. A voice bridges the worlds together. Some hits never fade. They echo into legacy. Applause returns. Not the roar of a fight, but a slow, reverent rhythm honoring something true. The camera holds one beat longer, then cuts to black. Las Vegas glows outside, neon, gold, restless. But tonight the lights burn softer, reverent, as if the city itself lowers its voice. Inside the UFC Hall of Fame, everything glows amber. The air hums with applause waiting to happen. Dwayne stands at the edge of the stage, hands clasped, eyes on the man walking toward the mic, Mark Kerr. A hush ripples through the room like a tide. Mark's steps are small, deliberate. His hands tremble slightly as he adjusts the mic, but his voice doesn't. He begins. A thank you, a memory, a confession. The words are steady, fragile. Dwayne listens, every muscle tight, holding the silence still. A few weeks earlier, this moment hadn't existed. He'd picked up the phone, thumb hovering before pressing call. One ring, two, then Dana White's gravel voice, brother, Dwayne said. Let's fix this. Let's bring Mark home. A pause. Then Dana. Yeah, it's time. Now, under the Hall of Fame lights, Dwayne watches that promise unfold. The crowd leans forward. Faces lit gold. Mark's name glows behind him. The smashing machine. The same words that once marked his pain now crown his redemption. Dwayne's breath catches. Pride swells deep. But beneath it, a flicker. A question that's haunted him since Venice, since Tokyo, since the day he chose to tell another man's story. Would he forgive the man who wore his scars? The applause rises. Mark turns, scanning the crowd until his eyes find Dwayne's. For a heartbeat, the noise disappears. They look at each other, one who lived the fight, one who carried it for him. The distance between them collapses into a single step. Mark reaches out. Dwayne takes his hand. The handshake is firm, but trembling, a mix of strength and surrender. It lasts longer than it should, long enough for both men to realize this isn't just gratitude. It's permission. Permission to let go, to be seen, to move forward. Dwayne exhales, the tension draining from his shoulders all at once. Around them, applause swells, crashing like waves against the walls. Mark turns back to the microphone. Dwayne keeps his head lowered for a moment, blinking fast, swallowing emotion before it escapes. Across the room, a familiar face watches quietly. Fallon. Seated near the stage, he gives a small nod. Not a performer's cue, just a friend's acknowledgement. A silent "you did right." The lights flare brighter, flooding everything in gold. The camera catches Dwayne's profile, half in shadow, half illuminated. The look of a man who's finally learned the difference between fame and legacy. As the scene fades, his voice threads through the applause, low, calm, certain. Weeks later, under different lights, the golden glow of the Hall of Fame dissolves into the sharp blue neon of a late-night stage. The laughter hums beyond the curtain. The Tonight Show sign flickers to life, and the next round begins. The stage glows electric blue. The band plays its quick riff. The audience roars. Jimmy Fallon grins, his trademark mix of charm and nerves barely hiding behind the cue cards. Across from him sits Dwayne, calm, collected. A quiet storm behind the smile. They've done this before. The lights, the laughter, the easy chaos. But tonight feels different. Fallon clears his throat. Before we wrap, he says softly, I owe you an apology. The crowd shifts, sensing the tone change. Last time you were here, things got a little out of control. He laughs, awkward. That whole pillow fight thing. I thought we were both going for it. I didn't realize your pillow wasn't the one with the breakaway feathers. The screen behind them lights up. The infamous clip. Chaos. Feathers everywhere. Fallon covered head to toe while Dwayne stands untouched, blinking through the absurdity. The audience laughs again. But this time, Dwayne doesn't, he just watches. Still silent. Fallon turns back, sheepish. So yeah, man. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Dwayne leans toward the mic. His voice is low, measured. You should be sorry. The laughter trickles off. Fallon blinks, waiting for the punchline. It never comes. Silence. 1 beat, 2, 3. Then Dwayne speaks again. I forgive, he says. He lets the words settle. But I don't forget. The crowd stills. Fallon's grin falters, caught between confusion and a flicker of fear. Dwayne's eyes narrow, but there's a spark underneath. A glint of mischief. He glances toward the wings, mouth curling into a half-smirk. Actually, he says, almost to himself, I think I'll need some help. The studio lights shift. A side door opens. A new spotlight cuts through the haze. The audience erupts. Mark Kerr steps out. The roar is deafening. Cheers, gasps, applause colliding like thunder. Fallon spins wide-eyed. What, you? No way. Dwayne stands, grinning now, shaking Mark's hand. You got my back? Mark nods, calm and grounded. Always. Fallon laughs nervously, the kind that comes from knowing something's about to go down. Dwayne reaches behind the chair, pulls out a pillow, tests the weight. Mark grabs another. Should we? Dwayne asks. Wait, guys, come on. Fallon protests, backing up, hands raised. 3, Dwayne says. The crowd joins in. 2. Fallon backs toward the desk, eyes wide. Don't you dare. 1. Boom. Feathers explode into the air. A blizzard under the studio lights. Fallon vanishes in a cloud of white. The crowd loses it. Dwayne swings again, laughing, really laughing this time. The kind that burst from deep inside, unguarded and free. Mark joins in, tossing another pillow into the storm. The audience rises, clapping, shouting, caught in the sheer joy of it all. Dwayne drops his pillow, breathless and smiling. Feathers cling to his arms, shoulders, hair. He looks around. Fallon collapsed in mock defeat. Mark standing tall beside him, the crowd still howling. Now that's real. He shouts over the noise. The band kicks in. The music swells. Laughter rolls across the stage like thunder. For the first time all night, the tension breaks completely. This isn't revenge. It's release. The weight of everything. Training, pain, doubt lifts in one perfect, ridiculous moment. The camera lingers on Dwayne's face as the feathers drift around him. His smile softens, grounded, peaceful. The lights dim, leaving only him and the gentle glow of the set. He glances at Mark, nods once, then looks out toward the crowd. The grin fades into something thoughtful. The laughter dissolves. Applause stretches. The shot lingers. Then through the quiet, his voice steady, calm, true. Under every mask, he says, there's a man who still believes in truth. Fade to black. Feathers drift down through the dark. Soft music rises, low, slow, refusing to end. Images flicker with the rhythm of a quiet heartbeat. Jazzy running across a sunlit field, flag football in hand. She lowers her shoulder, knocks another kid off balance. Dust lifts around her shoes. The whistle blows, but she's already laughing. Cheeks flushed, eyes bright, her father's voice echoes faintly behind her. You push them down, and you keep them down. A laugh slips beneath the words. It was never about the game. It never was. The screen glows gold. Venice. A wave of applause crashes through the theater, swelling until it fills the air. Dwayne sits motionless, tears tracing slow paths down his cheeks under the shimmer of the spotlight. Around him, people rise, clapping until their hands ache. Emily wipes her eyes. Mark Kerr trembles, overwhelmed. The camera lingers on Dwayne's face, raw, unguarded. A man suspended between pride and disbelief. Between the myth and the mirror. The light shifts. White now. Tokyo. The sound of the crowd turns metallic, distorted. Fists fall in slow motion. The mat quakes beneath each impact. Blood, sweat, silence. Dwayne absorbs every hit, glassy-eyed but awake. One breath, another. The world narrows to a single heartbeat. Gold returns. Vegas. Mark Kerr steps forward, the Hall of Fame plaque gleaming in his hands. Their handshake, firm, trembling, closes the distance between them. Their eyes meet. Forgiveness doesn't need words. The camera catches it. The instant Dwayne inhales, chest rising with quiet release. A lifetime of weight leaving in a single exhale. Then blue neon. The Tonight Show. Feathers still hang in the air like snow beneath the lights. Fallon doubled over, laughing. Mark standing behind him. Dwayne in the middle, arms open, head back, smiling, real laughter. Real release. The music slows. One by one, the lights fade. The crowd dissolves. The set vanishes. A single beam of light remains. Dwayne stands alone at center stage. The feathers have fallen. The noise is gone. Only the faint echo of applause drifts through the dark, distant, almost from another lifetime. He looks up once, breath steady. Human. The light closes in until only his outline remains. A man carved from motion, from noise, from truth. His voice breaks the stillness, soft, certain. Sometimes the truest hits, he says, come with a smile. The screen fades to black. No music. No dialogue. Only the echo of clapping, fading but never gone.